Hello and welcome to the late night edition with me, Ayushman Singh Jamwal. Big breaking news coming in at the top of the bulletin, where a strong message from the BCCI to Team India after the shambolic 3-1 loss to Australia. BCCI announces restrictions on personal staff and the presence of players' families during tours in order to promote discipline and unity in the team, is the pitch that has come in from the BCCI. Participation in domestic matches is now mandatory as per the new BCCI rules, and there will be exceptions only under extraordinary circumstances, is what the BCCI has put out. The BCCI has also barred players from engaging in personal shoots or endorsements during ongoing series or tours. That is the big piece of news that's coming in after that shambolic, ladies and gentlemen, 3-1 loss to Australia down under, ladies and gentlemen. I'm joined by my colleague Kritsween Wale on the broadcast. So Kritsween, it seems the BCCI is cracking the whip on Team India.
Oh yes, and perhaps like never before, Ayushman. And like you rightly pointed out, to give basic context, the policies come in the wake of the 3-1 series defeat to Australia in the Border Gavaskar Trophy. It's also cost the Indian team a spot at the World Test Championship final, and that's where this is coming from. But to quickly give a brief recap of what these 10 guidelines from the BCCI are all about. Number one being participation in domestic matches. Participation in these matches is going to be mandatory going forward for players to remain eligible for selection in the national team. And this is something which was opined by several experts as well right after the series loss to Australia. Following which, as BCCI sources have already been telling us, the players are going to have to travel separately with the families. The players are expected to travel with the team to and from matches and practice sessions. All of this, Ayushman, is being done with an aim to streamline player behavior, to ensure greater commitment during international tours. Furthermore, excess baggage limit is something that the BCCI has made mandatory as part of this guideline that they've announced. Restriction on personal staff as well. So going forward, any of the cricketers are not going to be allowed to have personal staff, personal managers, assistants, anyone to be with them on the tour or the series unless approved by the BCCI. There's also going to be attendance at practice sessions, something that we've never heard of or don't recall in recent time. All players are going to be required to attend scheduled practice sessions in full and travel together to and from the venue. Once again, this is being done with an aim to ensure that there's greater unity in the team, wanting to improve team discipline, ensuring a more professional and unified culture, something that BCCI thinks, the people who are trying to really get through an understanding of what really lacked in the team's performance, all of them have been brainstorming some of these aspects that they think are going to be integral going forward. And attendance at practice sessions is one such implementation that we're going to see in days to come. Restrictions on personal shoots during series and tours. This is something that has been spoken of by several sports commentators as well, that players should not be permitted to engage in these kind of shoots or endorsements, since it only causes more and more distraction. And that takes away from how the player is performing in the ongoing tournament. Family travel policy, again, a stringent one, Ayushman, because this means that the players absent from India for more than 45 days during any of these tours abroad can be joined by their family for one visit per series. And this is, of course, format dependent, which can only go up to 2 weeks. So that's another stringent guideline that's been announced by the BCCI. There are different plans in place as far as family travel plans are concerned. Participation in official BCCI engagements as well. They're going to be required to be available for BCCI's official shoots, some of these promotional activities and functions as well. And the biggest takeaway, Ayushman, most certainly is domestic matches. This is what several cricketers, experts, former cricketers have said, that these players should not let go of their domestic performances. They should keep participating in domestic matches, and that's why this has also been made mandatory. And let's not forget the star players, their performances in the series against Australia. Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, they've all been facing severe criticism for their poor form in the series. Let's not forget their runs. Let's not forget Rohit Sharma scored 31 runs in 5 innings. Poor showing indeed. Virat Kohli as well, a little better, but not enough to convince BCCI or hold back the BCCI from bringing in these kind of stringent guidelines. So it's a result of a lot of thought that's been put in given their performances, and it's not limited to just their performance against Australia. We've seen the kind of test performances, and it's been a poor showing overall on part of the men in blue, is why the BCCI thinks that to establish greater discipline, unity, positive team environment, while also ensuring their professional standards, all of this is perhaps the need of the hour. And there are other things that the BCCI, in fact, is thinking about. I think the next days are going to be very interesting to watch out for, because this indeed is something we've not heard of in recent past, Ayushman.
Absolutely. And Krithvin, this is coming amid the questions being raised on Gautam Gambhir's leadership as well, a refocus on fitness and discipline when it comes to Team India's performance.
Oh yes, as far as Gautam Gambhir is concerned, there's lots being spoken of, especially after that entire episode, if you remember and recall. Also to jog our memories through what had happened a few days ago, and this was amidst the series against Australia, which was being played by the men in blue. Do remember that there was a dressing room conversation that apparently leaked, and ever since the BCCI, of course, trying to really understand whether the team unity aspect is only limited to their performance on field, or there's lots more that needs to be figured out. And like you rightly pointed out, a lot of things being spoken of with regards to Gautam Gambhir's future as the head coach. Whether or not we see implementations take place on that level remains to be seen. But yes, Gautam Gambhir has also been opining some of these disciplinary recommendations. He's also spoken of how action needs to be taken against indisciplined Indian players, and that has only invited more backlash from the cricketers, from some of these team players. And reports have it that even that leaked conversation that is being spoken of every now and then was a doing of one of the senior players, which has only led to a greater split, at least on social media. And we talk about these kind of conversations that have been ongoing. So there's lots that's being spoken of, whether or not Gautam Gambhir can take the team forward. Happily is something that's being thought out. But yes, expect a lot of changes. Whether or not it's going to reach the head coach remains to be seen. But yes, he has made it very clear in an interview after interview that he's focused on curbing indiscipline within the Indian team.
Absolutely. After that 3-1 loss to Australia, an embarrassing loss for the boys in blue, BCCI clearly cracking the whip. Thank you, Krithvin, for joining us on the broadcast and decoding that for us. Shifting focus